I need you, David, always to do the
We're so
little...
reliant on you. We couldn't survive without David.
I know.
It's like, no way.
And we're ready to rock and roll. We're here. We're a little bit late starting this morning, but we are here. We're all here, and thank you for being with us, those who are in person and those who are with us digitally. We welcome you to Unity Church of the Pomona Valley. We're delighted you joined us, and we're starting a new month. Now this is October, our first Sunday in October, and this month we're looking at scary things, including scary thoughts. And as we approach Halloween, I know people love to get all scared and excited about stuff. And yet our scary thoughts often stick with us and really cause a lot of stress and a lot of damage in our bodies. So we are blessed to have Reverend Dr. Ruella with us today, and he is going to talk about scary thoughts around prosperity. So we look forward to your message, Drac. Thank you for being here. We're starting off with, this is our song for the month. I Love Myself the Way I Am. I think this is Louise Hay's signature song. So let us remember how important these words are. Thank you. That is a message most of us did not get growing up. And so it is time, whatever age we are when we first hear that, to do the work of really loving ourselves. Let us pray. I invite you to let my words be your words. Here I am, God, in this sacred moment. showing up as me. And although I may not be the way I want to be, I am the way I am, and I am enough. I am evolving. I am growing. And as I accept myself just the way I am more able to open up, to grow, to know my spiritual gifts, to know that the blessings that I have, the gifts that I have within me, and to be able to share them little by little more in this world. When I focus on lack, I get more lack. When I focus on what I have and the blessings that are in my life, even though they may be small, they increase. In fact, they multiply. So if I can bring gratitude, and when I bring gratitude to what I am and what I have, my blessings increase and my inner peace increases. I believe that I live in an abundant universe, that good is always available to me. I allow that good to flow in and through my life. God never shuts off the flow of good. And as I open myself to receive it, I realize that I indeed am worthy of an abundant life, abundant in many ways. I expect abundance. I know that it is not greedy for me to expect abundance, for there is more than enough for all in this universe. Charles Fillmore wrote, "The spiritual substance from which all visible wealth is never depleted. It is right with you all the time in response to your faith in it and your demands on it. It is not affected by our ignorant talk of hard times." And so let us shift our awareness to blessings. And feel those blessings not only moving in and through our lives, but see and know that blessings are moving in and through the lives of all in this nation and this world. And let us give thanks for the truth of that as we affirm, I live in a universe of abundance. And so it is. Amen. And now let us sing the Lord's Prayer. refreshments. We have lots of food on our table back there in our room, and I hope you will join us for that. After, to remember that you might refer people to not only our Facebook recording that lasts a month, but also to, what do you call it, our YouTube space. Yeah, so thank you, David, for all the work you do with that. Today we are doing an hour of mindfulness meditation, mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful sitting after we eat. So I invite anybody to join us for that. And then Mondays we have our book study, Ishmael. We only have 1 or 2 more sessions, and then we'll be looking at another book. So if anybody's interested, let me know. Wednesday we have our meditation. However, the next 2 Wednesdays we will be having it at a different time or a different day, because we have things going on here on the next 2 Wednesdays. Sky Breathing is back with Dr. Pramila Agrawal, and that is on October 10th, 11th, and 12th. And again, that is something so good for our health. You know, we have to take responsibility for these bodies we have, and this is one way to do it. Where our old church was, where we were for 70 years, a Buddhist organization bought the building and has moved in and has spent over a year making it theirs, and they have invited us to join them for a consecration of their Buddha statue ceremony. And their senior leader from Taiwan is coming, and so it's from next Saturday and Sunday from 9 till 1. They've invited us to eat with them. And I think Carmen said she was going to go. I am going to go. Jackie, are you?
It's too early.
It's too early. Okay. So is anybody else interested in going to see what our old church looks like? And
what are they going to do? Give a Dharma talk? And
I
then
think
change
they
and
are.
do
I think that.
prostrations? I'm not going to do prostrations.
Well,
I
I
think
don't
it's
think you
ridiculous.
have to do anything. You're a guest.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
You don't ask your guests to do things. We're a guest. We're there to celebrate the opening, but to meet their master, who is known all over the world, and to hear about what they bring. It's a different kind of Buddhism. There are many types of Buddhism, and this is another one, a different one. So if you're interested in going, let me know. I have to tell them tomorrow how many people are coming. Also Saturday afternoon from 3 to 5 at Pitzer College is the Circle of Chairs discussion on should DEI die. And that should be interesting. We're inviting Democrats and Republicans to this, I believe, so that we can have hear the other side, hear other sides and sit and understand each other better. Then Sunday, October 12th, you might notice we have 3 brand new banners here. The one over here on the first door is Susie Graff's, and the 2 on the piano, Carmen's and Jackie's, are complete. And we're going to have a little art show next Sunday at 12 o'clock, from 12 to about 12:15 or 12:20, and have them talk about their banners and how they listened to Spirit and as they made them, and how that process was for them. So there's a bunch of other people that have started banners, so hopefully there'll be some more coming up. Then also that Sunday, we're going to have a Unity 102 class. This is for people that are interested. Arthur, if you're available, I would love to have you come and learn a little bit about Unity and our history. If you're in the midst, I know you're in the midst of moving and all kinds of things, but if that works for you and anybody, and even if you've taken it before, we'd love to have just some discussion. So I invite anybody to come, and it's a 3-hour class, 2:30 to 5:30, and it is required to join our church. If you serve the Pomona community, we invite you to sign up for the Pomona's Conference of Collaboratives. There's a whole lot of different collaboratives in Pomona, and we don't all know who's involved and what they're doing, and so this is a way we're working with UCLA as well as the city and the school district and Tri-City Mental Health to bring this together so we can work more smoothly together. And it is from 8:30 to 3:30 at the Village Conference Center, Wednesday the 15th. So, and then the SWAC, we were going to have a SWAC, and I had a food poisoning incident when we were going to have it. So we postponed that till Wednesday night, October 15th from 6 till 8. So it's going to be a very busy day with so much going on. But I invite anybody that's interested in Unity to come and tell us what you see as our strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities that we have, and some of the challenges that we deal with. Then Compassionate Pomona's next meeting is the 16th on Thursday morning by Zoom. Compassionate Pomona is also having a kindness festival. It is the first Saturday in November, November 1st. And the theme is Kindness Calms Chaos. And you know how good it feels to be kind, and sometimes we don't know what the power of kindness. So I hope you will not only come and put that on your calendars to come, but if you think that you want to help Unity have a booth there at the festival, let me know. I can't be in two places, so, but if somebody wants to be at a booth, I can certainly help people get information out. And then we are doing 3 collections. Ruth Leader, is it Leader? Later. I need to learn that. Ruth Later has agreed to chair our social organization or work here at the church, and so we are collecting food for families that she takes to UCC Church in Claremont to give away. We are collecting hygiene products and school lunch boxes and backpacks for Emerson Community School in Pomona. So that is all in the back of the church. And we know how blessed we are. Divine love does move through us, and so let us say this affirmation together as we prepare for the offering today. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all I am, all I give, all I do, and all that I receive. And so it is. Liz, will you pass the basket, please? Thank you. Okay. And now, Jackie, can you come up and read your favorite book, The Daily Word?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Here you go.
Okay. Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
The word for today is appreciation. Appreciation keeps me in a state of gratitude. Appreciation keeps me in a state of gratitude. It can be easy to take the blessings in my life for granted, for the gratitude I feel to be supplanted by the busyness and concerns of everyday life. But practicing appreciation is the best way to attract even more blessings and stay open to life and love. Appreciation and gratitude keep me in a state of awe and wonder, open to the beauty of the world, the kindness of other people, and the benevolence of God. With my heart and mind open to the world's wonders, I am simply magnetic. I draw to myself blessings large and small, synchronicities, serendipities, and all kinds of wonderful surprises come my way when I am appreciative. I live in ease and grace, aware of the presence of God, and grateful every day. And from Psalm 9, verse 1, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds.
Thank you, Jackie. And I don't know what happened to my affirmation that was up there. It was there, and it, you know, technology, things happen that you just don't even know about. So we are going to sing now, Count Your Blessings, and it is in Wings of Song 153. So if you want a book, you can find it. When you feel the Spirit singing all His laws, count your many blessings, make them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, make them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, make them one by one. Count your blessings and see what God has done. When your life seems empty and so untrue, there's a mighty presence making all things new. Miracles take place whenever you can be, proving that God's love is with you constantly. Count your blessings, make them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, make them one by one. Count your blessings and see what God has done. Okay, thank you. So it's time to give this over to Reverend Dractuella. This month we are talking about how scary thoughts meet spiritual truth at Unity, and we're looking at thoughts of lack and limitation versus prosperity thinking. So come on down, Drac, and plug in, do your thing.
Okay.
Let's give Drac a hand for being willing to step in for me at the last minute. Yay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I found it really interesting that the word for today, what was it? Appreciation or thankfulness? Because that's actually what I'm going to focus on today. There's a real reason for that. It was about a month ago. Make sure I've got this clicker right. I had an experience. It was a very simple one that inspired me to want to talk about this. And it fits very well with our whole mentality around prosperity. I had a coworker I used to work with at the hospice where I work. And we were good friends. We went on a lot of our patient visits together, and when she left, I was kind of sad about that. So I set up a lunch with her, and we met, and it seemed fine. And then after we had lunch, when I tried to talk with her, she just completely didn't respond to any texts, no nothing. No calls. It's what, the equivalent of being ghosted. And I won't even get into why I think she did or didn't, because it isn't even relevant at that point. And then I had another close friend who wasn't happy with me. And I started thinking about people who didn't like me or friends that I had lost. And I went into this spiral in my mind about the lack of friends that I had. Now granted, the childhood I had growing up, I wasn't a popular kid. So I had that was in the back of my mind. It's still there sometimes, this lack around how many friends I have. like I don't have enough friends. So within 10 minutes of thinking about my friend that I didn't have anymore, the other one who wasn't happy with me, then the history of the friends, oh, well, so-and-so, I don't think they like me anymore. I shouldn't have said this. If I'd have said this instead, maybe everything will be fine. And I just went into this place where by the time I was done thinking about it, 10 minutes later, everybody and their dog hated me as far as I was concerned. I was like, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. I mean, it was such a Charlie Brown moment. I just was being such a Charlie Brown. And there I was sitting in that moment, and I literally just had this one little thought. It's seemingly out of nowhere that says, you got a lot of things you're grateful for. Why don't you just think about something you're grateful for? That was it. Just a simple thought. I said, all right. So I started thinking about it. Started thinking about the new person I work with at work and how great we get along. Then I started thinking about how I enjoyed working with Reverend Jan. And then I started thinking about a friend that I have that I meet with about once a month for coffee. And within 5 minutes, I shifted the way I felt. I felt completely different. And in a few nights I was sleeping better just because of that one little thought. That was it. And I was so blown away by the simplicity of that, and yet the profound impact of going to a place of gratitude. So simple. So why gratitude? So that was what was at the beginning of this slideshow. Norman Vincent Peale, I really like this quote. He said, the more you practice the art of thankfulness, the more you have to be thankful for. The more you have to be thankful for. A lot of us grew up, I would like to think, I don't hear about it as much now, but a lot of us grew up with parents, whenever somebody gave us something, they say, what do you say?
Oh, yeah.
And you go, thank you. With this, it's more than just an obligatory thank you. It's not about just manners here. It's about the powerful form of prayer that gratitude really is, where you're affirming the good that you have. You're affirming it because it's already there. And when you affirm that, it starts to dispel those feelings of lack and that fear around not having enough. Just like when I thought I had no friends within 10 minutes of thinking about one person not liking me. I went into this spiral. So it's a powerful practice because what it does is it wakes you up to what is really right in front of you that you do have, switches your mindset into seeing what you have and no longer dwelling on what you don't. Because on a day-to-day basis, you have things and there's other things you don't. So what are you going to look at? And there's a power in looking at what you do have, but I won't get ahead of myself. So the question is, why do we often focus on what we don't have? What is that? I mean, I got to thinking about that. I actually Googled it. I thought, it's so weird the way human nature, we have a tendency, many of us, to do this thing where we start thinking about what we don't have. And you can get into a tailspin like that. And I'm not saying we do it all the time, but a lot of us can go there. So I went to this site. It's called Medium. And there was a guy on there who's a top-notch executive. He told this story of how he had wanted to get promoted to this one position in the company. And he was very focused on it. He worked extraordinarily hard, and eventually he got promoted and hired into the position. And he said for 2 days he was thrilled. He was thrilled about it. And then he said after the 2 days had passed, his mind clicked into this another mode of thinking, or he's thinking, oh gosh, what about this? Maybe I need to do this. And he just started getting into this little spiral about what might go wrong, what he needed to do, and he wasn't celebrating anymore and thinking in possibilities. And he theorized, this is what he said, our brains are wired to seek problems. It's part of human survival. Our ancestors needed to stay alert to dangers, threats, and scarcity. This is what he said. While this instinct helped them stay alive, in today's world, it often works against us. I thought, well, that's really interesting. He said, instead of appreciating what we have, we automatically scan for what is lacking. I thought, I gave that thought, and I thought, that did kind of make sense to me, to be honest. So, as an experiment, and he really did do this, and just for maybe about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he started doing a gratitude journal. Very simple, and he said he didn't do anything fancy either. He just wrote 3 things a day he was grateful for. And he said pretty much every day, it didn't vary too much. He put family, job, health. That was usually what he put in there. And then he said it hit him one day, it's about 3-4 weeks into this, he said, he started noticing little things. Like he said he noticed the sunlight on his desk when he was working. And then he said he started just enjoying going out coffee with a friend more. It's just little stuff. And he realized that this very, very simple practice had impacted him. It shifted his consciousness. And he said, gratitude doesn't just make you feel better. It rewires your brain to focus on abundance rather than lack. It literally rewires your brain. You've heard about how you can develop new neural pathways in your brain if you keep saying something, reading something over and over, doing something, developing a habit. It will develop a new neural pathway in your brain. You will literally rewire your brain. And that's what this guy did with 3 words a day, just 3 words a day. I thought, good Lord, that's crazy, but it's true. So it was mentioned earlier, I think it's written in the bulletin about trusting in God and not being so worried about things about your lack. And I thought about that. I thought, we trust stuff all the time. We have faith in stuff all the time. But what are we trusting and what are we having faith in? Because you can trust that things aren't going to work because before they didn't. You can have faith that that's going to be a really lousy day. You can trust you're not going to have enough, so you better be ready because you're not going to have enough. So it's not enough to just say you need to learn to trust more, you need to have faith. It's about what you trust and what you have faith in, where you focus your thinking about that. Because all the time we believe something, don't we? So what are we believing? What are we having faith in? There's I'll switch this over here. There's a thing called 5-step prayer in religious science or science of mind, which is the faith background I have. And I'm not going to get too heavily into it. But what we do is when we have something we want to affirm, say we want more peace in our life. I'll use that as an example. There's 5 steps that we'll do to help ourselves get into the right mindset so we can say, in this case, get into a more peaceful sense of being and have the faith and more peace being in our life. So we'll start out with recognizing that God is all there is. And in recognizing that God is all there is, we know that there is peace because God is peace, right? There's a unification. The second step we recognize first, and then we know that we are one with God. And if we're one with God and God is all of this peace, then we're peaceful too. It's that simple. And it's not this quick. It takes a little longer to do these prayers, but this is it in a nutshell. The third step is that we declare your word for the circumstance you want to manifest, which is peace. So if God is all there is and God is peace, and I am a part of this, I'm unified with this God, that means I'm peace, which means this is a reality. Peace exists. There is peace to be had. Now the next step, that's what I want to get into here, thanksgiving. So you give thanks for this peace in this particular case as though it's already here. Because there's an understanding that the law of the mind, your consciousness, makes things happen. Because that's where your focus is. And the last one is you just release it and say, so it is. I'm not going to sit here holding on to this, hoping and hoping and hoping. I'm going to trust this is going to be. I'm going to trust there's peace in my reality. So we have these 5 steps. So why do we even need Thanksgiving there? I mean, after all, if you shift your consciousness into understanding that God exists in everything, you're unified with God, and this reality is here, why do you say thank you? Why do you say thank you? The reason we do is because it's necessary at acknowledging our good to see it. And when we say thank you for it, we're seeing that it's there. We're saying it's here, and I'm glad it's here. And we're opening ourselves up to that. We're acknowledging the reality of what we already have. That it's here and it's for us. It reminds us that what we long for is possible. Because if it weren't, we wouldn't even long for it in the first place. But we cannot long for something that doesn't exist, and we certainly can't know it exists if we don't see it. So we need to say thank you for it. Open our minds up to see that this reality is there. So I'm kind of laughing already. I live in a household with 2 other guys. You'll see where I'm going with this picture. And we each have our own rooms, but we share the kitchen. And a lot of times we'll bring something home to share. We'll put some food on the counter. Say during lemon season, I'll bring home a bowl of lemons and I'll put them out there for everybody to have. But I'll forget to tell people, help yourself to those lemons. I got those from a neighbor. So people, it's like they don't even see these darn lemons. They just walk past them. They don't even touch them. Nobody says, can I have one? They just keep walking past it. Don't even see it, blinders. And I just laugh when I think about that, because a lot of times when it comes to our good and knowing what we have and getting into that prosperity mindset because we recognize that, we don't see what we have. And we don't see it, and we don't allow ourselves, we don't give ourselves permission to accept it. And there's so many reasons why we don't. I mean, a lot of us will say, I'm not going to go and take that art class and start doing watercoloring, which I've wanted to do forever until my kids graduate and get out of the house. And then the kids graduate, get out of the house, and then they have grandkids. Well, I'm going to start watercoloring when my grandkids get a little older, because right now I'm helping with babysitting. Before you know it, watercoloring has never happened. Receiving the good of that has never happened. Well, we do that with inviting things into our lives. We set these timelines up and we say, if once I do this, or if this happens, and we just keep walking by, not even seeing it. And meanwhile, there is this plentiful fruit on the counter for you to take, but you're not even seeing it or accepting it. When we practice gratitude, when we look at what we have, what we're doing is we're acknowledging that that fruit is on the counter. We're opening our eyes to the fruit that's on the counter so that we will take that fruit. That's the whole point. It's there, but we keep walking past it. It's always there, fresh and ready for us, metaphorically. Now, the real fruit that I've left on the counter, unfortunately, you keep walking past it long enough, it starts to mold.
Yes.
But God's good will not mold. So you've got infinite time for that. So, Ernest Holmes, he says, I got 2 fruit pictures here. Isn't that nice? However great the truth of God's love may be, unless each individual consciously admits it, it doesn't come in. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Being an individual, I must open the door. Now, if I open the door, even partially, I create within myself an avenue for the expression of that love. I allow the complete expression of the infinite through the individuality, meaning me. So you've got to knock on the door first, and then you've got to stand there while it opens and accept what comes through for you. You got to open yourself up. You got to open yourself up, and that is what looking what you have and being grateful for it does. It is deceptively simple and profoundly powerful. The funny thing is that we magnify what we think about. We really, really do. I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but I remember when I got my first really cool car that I loved. It was a Kia Soul. And it was that color, which is called alien green. And I remember when I got that car, when I was thinking about it, I started noticing there were cars like this everywhere. I mean, I would be driving around, I would see 10 of them on the road in a day. I was blown away at how many green Kia Souls were out there. Had I noticed that before? Nope. Did I manifest those cars by thinking about it? No, really what happened was I opened up my eyes and I just began to see it everywhere. And I've talked with women who said, when they first got pregnant and were so excited about it, or they were trying to get pregnant, it seemed like out of the blue, everywhere, they just saw women with baby carriages and women that were pregnant, everywhere. Now, they didn't think these women into being pregnant. They just started seeing it, acknowledging, recognizing that it was there. Because in their consciousness, that's what they were focused on. The whole point of this is that when we stop or pause to be grateful, we notice what is left on the counter for us and allow ourselves to receive it. We see those cars out there too. We open our mind and creativity to the good in our life and invite more of it in. That's what happens, invariably what's going to happen. When we pause and do this, we create a space inside of ourselves, our consciousness. And in doing that, that fear that was in there before, that sense of not having enough, doesn't have space anymore. And what starts taking up that space is the focus on what you do have. It really does happen. We're affirming it. It's like, as Madonna says, it's like a little prayer. I thought of that tune when I was writing this. I thought of her song. So, honey, another thing about my household that I thought about. The house that I live in, it's old, and it's had a lot of different spaces added onto it. And there's a sunroom that's been added to the back, and honestly, you can kind of tell it has. But I got to thinking about it. It's like when that house had a wall there, you couldn't see the backyard. No light was coming in. It was just a wall. But once that space was opened up and the glass was all around it, because our sunroom is like, it's got all glass like that. It's not as pretty, but it's all glass. I can see everything in the back. When we practice gratitude, it's the same way. It's like we knock out the wall of our fear. We knock it out. And we open up ourselves so that we can see what we have. We create a sunroom in our soul so we can see what is already there that is good. The world hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, but what we have done is we've changed ourselves. We've opened ourselves to see what we have in our life. And the remarkable thing about that is when we open ourselves to see like that, we start to pull more of it in. It's like a magnet. Just like when Jackie was reading her daily word, we pull it in. And it's wild how that works. It really does. So I'm going to tell a story. It's a very, very simple story. So I'm not going to make you sit here all day and be super tired. It's a real story too. So it's that in the heart of a bustling city, a homeless man named Michael lived on the streets. And each day was a struggle for his survival. But he had one thing that kept him going: gratitude. Despite his circumstances, Michael expressed appreciation for the small things in life. A warm cup of coffee, a friendly smile from a passerby, or even the sun's warmth on his skin. His positive outlook caught the attention of a local journalist who wrote a story about him. It's just a cool story. As the piece gained traction, more people began to contribute to Michael's story. Donations poured in, allowing him to secure temporary housing and eventually led him to get back on his feet. Michael's tale became one of hope and resilience, demonstrating how gratitude can foster connection and empower those in need. Just because he was grateful for a cup of coffee someone would give him, or just a little thing, all of that just snowballed and his life completely changed. Completely changed. So gratitude reminds us of what we already have. And in doing so, it seems to multiply because we become more aware of the good that has been in our lives all along. There's a guy, his name is Robert Emmons. I don't know if you've heard of him. I hadn't at the time, but he's perhaps the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude of all things. And he describes gratitude in a greater good essay called Why Gratitude is Good. And he said in this essay, he just said it simply, it's an affirmation of goodness. It's an affirmation of it. We affirm that there are good things in the world gifts and benefits we've received. And that's how we affirm it. That's how I affirmed it that day when I was thinking about how nobody liked me, and by the end of switching my thinking around, I realized I had a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends. I was not that Charlie Brown I thought I was as a kid. It's a new day. That ship has sailed. So, and I love it. There was a 2021 article in the Journal of Positive School Psychology, and the researchers wrote this. I just laughed. Gratitude practice could result in, I love the wording, increased feelings of energy, alertness, and vigor, success in achieving personal goals, better coping with stress, greater sense of purpose and resilience, solidified and secured social relationships. Now, I can vouch for that. I shifted my whole perspective on my relationships, and I felt secure because I just thought about the ones I had. Then he went on to say, bolstered feelings of self-worth and self-confidence and generosity and helpfulness. Now, this is the part that cracked me up. He said, should you feel an uptick in any or more than one of these, you may be able to conclude that your practice is working. I just thought that was kind of cute. Gratitude can help someone switch from negative emotions to positive ones more quickly. That's what he ended it. His article was saying. And I didn't need to read that to know that because of my own personal experience. So I'm going to take you on a very brief journey so you can experience it. Very simple one. Hopefully you won't fall asleep too quick on this. I'll keep it quick. I would like you to just close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. And if you're not, you can do it with your eyes open. And I would like you to just think about an experience you had that was difficult, that wasn't easy, where you felt things were not working or you didn't have enough of something. Or I want you to really think about something. Remember it. And while you're remembering it, I'd like you to notice how you feel. Whether it's emotions, how your body feels. I mean, do you feel any tension? Do you feel like hot or cold? Whatever it is, just notice what you're feeling. And now, I'd like you to switch gears a little, and I'd like you to think about something you're grateful for. And if you're feeling a little ambitious, maybe 2 things you're grateful for. Just really think about it. Picture it. And while you're doing that, I'd like you to just notice what you're feeling. Whether it's in your body or your emotions, just notice what you're feeling. Okay, and when you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Did you feel a difference? Did you feel what that was? Yeah, you're nodding back there. I know when I did it, I noticed a difference. Mm-hmm. With me personally, I noticed that my forehead relaxed a bit and so did my jaw. And I just didn't feel so unsettled when I switched gears. So that's just a very simple demonstration of of what the difference is. And think about it. If you're thinking positively for a long period of time, or you're thinking negatively for a long period of time, or if you're doing it throughout the day, just the impact it has on you and your physical sense of things and your mindset. It's remarkable. It really is. There's a quote by Marianne Williamson that I'd like to close with that I really like, that sums it up for me. I mean, if there's any way that you can dispel your feelings of lack, it's just through this. It's such a simple thing. She says, gratitude is an opener of locked up blessings. Gratitude is an opener of locked up blessings. So my question to you is, it's a simple one. What blessings are you ready to open up today? It's something to take with you. What blessings are you ready to open up today or open up to today? That's it for me. That's the panacea, or how do you say it, for every fear of lack you could ever have.
It is.
It is.
Thank you, Brad. Such a simple yet profound message.
Well, you know, and the experience I had, it was just such a simple thought, and that just blew me away, and that's how I wound up writing on this. I thought, that's crazy.
Yes. And to watch, the mind does love to make up stories and believe its own stories.
It does.
So we have to watch our minds and look at, is this what I want to be spending my energy on, or do I want to look at the gratitude piece of it? Yes. The truth of it.
And it's not to say that you shouldn't address things that may not be okay in your life. Of course, you got to think things through, but where are we gonna think in possibilities, or are we gonna think in lack? It's really
Yes.
the bottom line with that. Yeah.
So you've got the closeout, so I'll let you close. Do you want to go ahead and
Of
close?
course.
Okay.
Oh, now, before we close out, though, do we have some special music that we do before that?
Oh, Julie, do you have special music?
No,
I
that's,
was in the City of Hope for a week and so.
no, that's
Okay.
okay. We
I
don't
think
have to
we're-
have it. And you know what? The honest truth here is it's almost 1:40, so
Okay.
people will want to go.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I think we just need to go eat some food.
We're
anyway.
just blessed
We're
that
just
you
blessed that you
came.
came,
Yeah, we're
Very
grateful that you
we
came.
are.
And that you can even do what you can. I can't even do what you do on a good day. Jeez, I mean, seriously. So, on that happy note, let's all say together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now, let's sing the peace song. That was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Begin with me. Let this be the moment with every step I take. Let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Thank you. That was
So it
wonderful.
is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Drac, again.
One time.
Doing the service today. You want to hit the end live
Oh,
Great.
here we go. So you go there. Okay.